living in Nairobi, what it is like living in Nairobi, based on my life experience and what it what is it like living in Nairobi. mm, to get started, Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. So Nairobi is amongst, it's the largest in Kenya. We have other cities that are bigger, maybe cities like Mombasa, Kisumu, but Nairobi is the most populated area. And most of the people prefer living in Nairobi. Most of the people within Kenya prefer living in Nairobi. So, if you wanna come to Nairobi, maybe to visit or maybe just stay there, start living in Nairobi, there are cons and pros for you to follow, my dear. You have to know some of the things according to what I've experienced and according to what other people go through. First, you gotta have money. Money is everything. I know, even it's not only in Kenya, but when you come to visit Nairobi or when you are going somewhere, you gotta have money, my dear, for you to be able to take care of yourself, for your upkeep. How are you supposed to survive without having money? You gotta have money, my dear. If you come to Nairobi, maybe you're gonna rent a house. You have to pay your rent early enough when it's due, because when you don't pay it early enough, when you don't talk to the landlord, the owner of the house, he's gonna come and lock your door, lock the house. You'll find the padlock in the padlock on your door, because you didn't make you didn't talk to him or her early enough. And besides, the landlord in Nairobi doesn't care. What he cares about is always money. So if you don't want your things to be thrown outside, my dear, you gotta pay money. Always pay money in advance. Always pay money early. Second, when you come to Nairobi, while crossing the road, you have to cross the road while running, because the vehicles on the road are always at a high speed. They move very fast. So if you think that you are gonna cross the road while slaying, just forget about that. The vehicle will end up hitting you and you might end up having an accident. So always be sharp, always be on toes. Cross the road while running. When you board a car, when you board a vehicle, because in Kenya mostly we use matatu for transport means. Some people have personal cars, but mostly we use matatus. So when you board a vehicle, let me just use Jogoo Road. Maybe you're coming from Donholm, and you are supposed to highlight at City Stadium. You're going to Kaloleni, and you're supposed to be highlighting at City Stadium. My dear, you have to get up early. You have to get up before the vehicle reaches at your destination, because if you sit down thinking that they will tell you to get out of to get out of the vehicle, you'll end up finding yourself in town. That will be a waste of time and a waste of money too. You'll pay for another transport fee, my dear. So you have to be careful. The vehicles run very fast, though who there are some conductors who will tell you your money is over, you have to stop at this point. Yeah. When you go to Nairobi, let me say you are walking by. Nairobi is a big city, so, and the buildings too are also almost the same. They have taller buildings which are always the same. So you can you can end up getting lost, my dear, because since the buildings are always the same and we have tall buildings, always remember to mark where you are going to. Not that after reaching to a certain place, it's when you ask people, did you see me here? Did you see me passing by? No, Nairobi people are not very friendly. Maybe one or two might help you get to your destination, might help you get to where you are supposed to be going to. Because me, I remember when I was new in Nairobi, I could board a vehicle maybe at City Stadium, that is Jogoo Road, and then I used to board the vehicle very early in the morning when I was going to job, when I was going to work, and the matatu I could use could stop me somewhere. But one day, it didn't stop at the usual place. It passed with me to a certain. They don't stop at the very same place that they. Yeah, I mean they don't have one place. They can stop anywhere. So after the vehicle had passed with me to a different destination, so I got lost. And remember, it was something like around 6:30, because we used to go to work early, 6:30 a.m. So I couldn't find anybody that I knew. I went asking for the road. I went asking for people whether they know this such and such a place for me to get to that place. But nobody was willing to help me until I found a good Samaritan that told me, oh, you say Mfangano Street. Yeah. And so, because where I was working was along Mfangano Street, and I knew when I get there, I could get my destination where I was supposed to be working. So the guy showed me the place, but you should always remember where you are going to, okay? Okay, number 4, I guess you have to, when you are traveling, maybe you have a luggage, maybe 2 or 3 bags that are full and you feel like they are too heavy for you to carry, and you might need some support from a friend, from maybe somebody there are people who always carry the luggages using these small vehicles, not the handcarts or wheelbarrows, but there are certain vehicles that they normally use. So when you give out your luggage, they will carry for you, and you pay them money in return. So while you are walking by, because your luggage is being carried for you, you have to walk step by step with the person that is carrying for you your luggage. If you walk distance apart, maybe the person that is carrying your luggage is ahead of you, in front of you by some maybe few meters. And the way Nairobi is big and people are always many, hey, your luggage will maybe will maybe get lost. So always protect your luggage. Another thing, let's say you are using a mobile, you are waiting for somebody, and you decided to maybe stand by the building or somewhere, or maybe you are waiting for a matatu, for a vehicle. You have finished work, so you are waiting for a vehicle for you to get in and take you home. While standing, don't just stand with your mobile phone doing like this. Oh my god, you gotta be careful. When you stand with your mobile phone like this, here somebody might come and snatch the phone away from you. So always watch over your phone. Be keen, because they are pickpocketers too. Be keen with your money on the pocket, and be keen with your phone while you are carrying in on your hand, or when it's inside your pocket. And there is also peer pressure when you come to Nairobi. People always come to Nairobi. You come to Nairobi to change home. You come from home to change home. People prefer Nairobi because it's a big city. People are so many. There are lots of jobs there. We also have lots of jobs, but mostly people prefer working in Nairobi. So people have this, they tend to have so much fun. His stories are happy. So when you come to Nairobi, go and do whatever brought you. Come and do whatever brought you to Nairobi, because when you just go there, that you now want to have fun, too much fun that you forget where you're coming from. May you come from a poor family and you decided to go to Nairobi in order to get a job and help your family. But when you forget about that, it won't happen, my dear. When you get into so much fun, you'll end up with so many things. When, as a lady, you might end up having early pregnancy or an unwanted pregnancy, or maybe you may be you may get you may be infected with diseases. As men, I don't know. Maybe they might get into drug. They may be drug addicts. There are also diseases that they may also contract. Yeah. So always be careful. Watch over your life. It's upon you whether you want to have so much fun or not. It's up to you. Always come home early. In Nairobi, if you know you live alone, come back home early, because you might get get bad people. If you come back home at night, if you are a late comer, you might get bad people along the way and they might hurt you. Oh, provide your own protection. I think that is the last thing. Be your own security. I remember I decided to come to Nairobi back in the days, some years ago, when I completed my studies in Kisumu. I come from Kisumu, by the way. I completed my studies in Kisumu, my college. Then I went for an attachment in Nyalenda Hospital, next to Joilomino Primary School, next to Joilomino Secondary School. Then after some time, after doing my attachments and upon completion, I decided to go to, I also went to family health options, that is in next to, which place is this, social hall, just around the bus park. I went for some time, I joined there, worked for some time. Then I decided that was not my place. Then I searched for a job in not in Tungane really, but somewhere, an hospital near Kibuye Market. Then upon looking for a job, the director in that place wanted me to maybe have a relationship, to make an exchange, something like having a relationship with him before he gives me the job. And I was pissed off. That was not my thing, so I decided to leave. Then I went to look for a job in Tungane. I got the job. I worked for some time, but by then we were being probated for maybe like 3 months, and I didn't even finish 3 months. I decided that was enough for me because I needed something that could bring me money. So I decided to leave Kisumu and go to Nairobi. Then when I went to Nairobi, I joined my sister. My sister was also schooling in Kenya Poly by then. So we stayed with her for some time, and then she got a husband. So she was living with her husband, while me, I was living alone. I was single at that moment, but my sister had gotten married. So I got a job, just a hustling job to keep myself, because I never wanted to get involved with negative things that will bring bad things in my life. So I decided to get focused. I hustled for some time. So upon my hustle, my sister relocated to Botela Estate. It's along Jogo Road, and she was living with her husband. And me, I was single. As I was single, I decided that now that I have been working, and maybe I could be missing my sister, and I decided, why don't I go work? Why don't I go and check, just to see how my sister is doing, so I could always go visit her whenever I could finish finish my job, maybe during the weekends, we used to go to work. We used to work even during weekends. Yeah, we worked full time. So the only time that I could get was only during, maybe after completing my job in the evening. So I decided, instead of getting bored here, let me just go and give my sister company, check on them how they are doing. So one day I decided to go to her place. By then I was staying in Kaloleni, and it was around 6:30 p.m. because you could walk. It's a walking distance when you go to Botella. When you go to, we come from Kaloleni to Botella. It's a walking distance. You might also board a vehicle when going there. So me, I decided to walk because at least I could do some exercise. And I used to carry a bigger bag. It was always color white. I I was always carrying my bag with me. This bag my mama gave me. Not that I not that I took it. Not that she gave me. I took it from her. So the bag was always big. Ladies know the bag. It's somehow big. It's an handbag. Yeah. And this handbag, as I was walking, no, upon reaching at my sister's place, I couldn't find them. I found that they had gone out. She had gone out with her husband, and I tried calling their mobile phones, but I couldn't reach them. They were both switched off. So I decided, let me wait for a short while. Maybe they might come immediately. And so they didn't come until it was around around 7:38. I decided to go back home. I decided to walk again, to trek to my place. And by the time I reached, there's a junction between All Saints Cathedral and Botella and Posta. That road, it's called Likoni Road. That road going to Lunga Lunga, South Bay. Yeah. So before I reached that place, remember it was dark. That place is always dark. I don't know about now whether they have put lights. It's some years ago that I left that place. So a man approached me. He's not that man. He's boy like. He approached me. All of a sudden, he removed a gun and pointed at me, telling me that I should give him my bag and my mobile phone. And the phone I had at that moment was Samsung Galaxy. By then, Samsung Galaxy was booming. It was touch screen. Oh my god, it was something else. So I didn't give him. He was struggling for my bag too, but I didn't. I was also fighting for my bag. Though there was nothing valuable inside the bag, but I was just defending my bag because it meant a lot to me. I cherished it so much because I had taken it from my mother. You know, when you get something from my mom, from your mama, not only me, but I think people always value things that they have from their mamas. Yeah. So we struggle. Remember, there was a lady in front of me. The lady in front of me ran away and she watched from far while me, I was screaming for my life and the vehicles were passing by. People were also passing by and the vehicles were passing by at a high speed, but nobody will come to my rescue. So when we were fighting, I was ready. I was ready to die. I couldn't give him my things, my belongings. So I was ready. I was fighting with him, and to some extent, I came into contact with the gun and I found it was a gunshot. It was a toy gun, I mean, and I felt it was plastic. Okay, then I said, "What's this now? Is this guy trying to play with my mind because the gun is not real?" After fighting, struggling, he was slim, tall, and slender. Yeah, he was slender like. Okay, then after finding it was a toy gun, he struggled and struggled to get my bag, but I couldn't let my bag go. It was always like this, like this. I don't know how he left me and decided to run away. Me too. After him leaving me, I had to run away from my life because I knew something terrible could happen to me again. So taking my leave, while running, the girl now decided to come back and ask me, "What happened? Did he hurt you?" I said, "No, he didn't. Did he take anything?" I said, "No, he did not." But the lesson I learned that Nairobi, you don't have a friend, you have your own protection, because people can see you fighting maybe by their own side and they do nothing about it. Nairobi people they don't care anymore because they may think maybe that is husband and wife, or maybe girlfriend and boyfriend who have their issues. But sometimes you gotta chip in just to see just to hear what is happening. Though people are always afraid that they might also end up getting hurt, but at least come to somebody's rescue. Don't just leave them to die. Maybe you might have helped. So I just want to say, when you come to Nairobi, always be careful. Be careful with life. It's not that easy there.